Hey everyone, so I'm sure you all saw the title of this video, so what else is there to say?
Exactly. Again, I think we did a good job throughout the entire pandemic, being very responsible, but
Yeah.
this one just got us, This is a very
Right.
contagious, variant, but yeah, we'll walk you through kind of like our experience so far.
Yes.
Thankfully, our health has been pretty good overall for the family, so it's definitely a scary thing no matter what when you find out that you got it. So we'll go ahead and just like walk through kind of from beginning to end where we are right now.
So I think what we should start is, because I'm sure everyone wants to know how we got it. So
Yes.
do you want to tell her or do you want me to tell her?
I'll go ahead and tell.
Okay.
And by the way, yes, we are living the COVID life. Like, yeah, hair's unkept or whatever it is,
Yeah.
but here we are. So the story with how we got it. So I was invited to a work happy hour that was for last Wednesday, and it was an outdoor happy hour. So outdoor open air bar. Our company also does require all employees to vaccinate or show proof of vaccination. So I thought, overall that seemed like a pretty safe environment. So I went to that, and literally, I think on Tuesday, I got notification on a few people from work that tested positive for it. I had no symptoms at all whatsoever. So, I told Mike, I'm going to go test. I just found out about this. I think you're on your way walking out to the park, right?
Yeah, so when this happened, it was like lunchtime around Tuesday. Caleb and I had just finished up our lunch. We had put on some shoes and stuff, and we went out to the park. And so we weren't home when this happened, and I was like, oh, geez, we need to get home. We need to get home.
So I take the test, and literally we've been taking home tests like nonstop. And
Yeah.
I fully expected it was going to be negative because, again, I wasn't feeling anything. And those two little lines came across, and just like, how do you react to that, right? Like, when you don't feel the symptoms, like at least if you're feeling the symptoms and you come back with a positive, you're like, okay, I knew something bad was going on. But I texted Mike immediately, and I grabbed a ton of things, locked myself up in my office, and just started my self-isolation and quarantine. So
Yeah. And so Caleb and I came home and we immediately tested, and both of us tested negative, which I was surprised because you called me. Again, we were at the park. Steve calls me. He says, hey, I'm positive.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we probably have it
This
then.
is it. This is it.
So-
Because you have to keep in mind, it was Wednesday that I had the contact, and it was all the way to Tuesday of the next week, and still nothing, right? So, but yeah, I mean, again, it's like I said, it's a little bit scary, but Mike came home right away and like covered the house from top to bottom in Clorox wipes and Lysol and sanitizer.
It felt like it was a little futile at that point, but like I said, because Caleb and I tested negative, I was like, I don't want to take any more risks that that we don't need to be. So, but yeah, so what we'll do now is we'll show you some footage. So we actually did start vlogging this. And because we didn't want to be like trading the camera back and forth, a lot of it is on our cell phones.
My iPhone, yeah, exactly.
So here, Steve is going to give you a little tour of his like studio apartment, I guess.
My quarantine cave. Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing great. We have a little bit of a different vlog for you today, but I have something to show you. So hopefully you can see that. That, my friends, is unfortunately a positive COVID-19 test. So as I just said, unfortunately, yes, I did test positive for COVID-19 earlier this week. On the plus side, I am asymptomatic. The only symptom that I really have is I'm pretty tired in the afternoons, pretty lethargic. So I've been trying to make sure I'm taking my rest and just, rehydrating and getting through this. But like I said, I'm positive. Thankfully, Mike and Caleb have been negative this whole time. We've been doing a really good job of, distancing. I've been quarantined up in my office the whole time during waking hours. And obviously at night, I make sure I mask up and be very safely distanced from Mike. So it seems to be working, and we're being pretty responsible. But again, since I'm up here in my office, I figured might as well show you how I'm living the last few days. So as I said, since I've been asymptomatic, I've still been working. So this is where I work all day. So this is every day, any day, anyhow. So this is my whole workstation setup. Been able to still keep on with the work. And again, taking a few hours off in the afternoon just to rest up. And over here in my corner is my little makeshift cafe corner coffee station, where I'm able to enjoy my morning Joe. Unfortunately, I'm all out, so I need to request a refill from Mike. And because I'm being responsible, I'm not really enjoying any of our cocktails or drinks, but if I were, that'd be my nice little afternoon pour area over there. But hey, something to look forward to in the future, right? And my favorite part, I'm saving the best for last. So like I said, I've been distancing away from Caleb, got to keep him as safe as possible. He actually hasn't been at school ever since I tested positive because, again, we don't want to bring this into his classroom. Even though he's negative, he might be able to pass it on, so we need to make sure we're safe. So during the day, he has full run of the house, which means I can't like go into a room and take a nap, right? So we have this makeshift cot that we built in my office. So we took the cushions from one of our downstairs couch, and that's my my afternoon napping spot. Isn't that great? So as you can tell, our spirits are high. We're trying to make the best of this, but also being very, very responsible. So we're going through the whole quarantine period, still testing every single day. Again, so blessed that Mike and Caleb have been negative this whole time. But it's only a few more days. Hopefully we'll get past this, get back to a little bit of a normal life. But we got to be safe in the meantime. And I just got to make sure I'm protecting my family up here in my amazing curated experience here in my office.
So there you can see how Steve's been living for the past few days.
Yeah.
What's interesting, and please don't get your COVID news from us. We're just relaying our story.
This is our experience.
But Caleb and I, we began testing every day, and we kept getting negative tests. So I was even more determined to like make sure that like Steve stayed upstairs in his office. Yeah. I know you said that Caleb had free reign of the house, but really I've been trying to keep Caleb downstairs. Yeah. So just to completely separate. And
then at night when Caleb's asleep, I would mask up, come downstairs, and Mike and I would be about 10 feet away from each other. Mm-hmm. But just to be able to socialize, I have to tell you, being in isolation when you're used to being around your family the whole time, it's a little depressing. Let's be honest, it is very depressing. So,
and it was hard for me too because Caleb wasn't going to school, and I don't want to put him in front of the TV all day, but that's what I kind of had to do outside of going outside, trying to go to the park, trying to go to the park when there was nobody there. Luckily, if you go early enough, there's absolutely no one there. So you're getting a lot of iPhone footage with this video, and I never know where to look when I'm doing this because I don't do this. But Caleb and I are at one of the local parks we have in our neighborhood. We're really lucky that we have like 3 different parks right here in our neighborhood, so it's great. We can always kind of go to a different one. But Caleb and I have been trying to spend as much time outside as we can. So we just hit up the different parks. We eat lunch in our backyard, I don't know. This is such a weird situation, and it's weird, but yeah, we're spending a lot of time outside. But yeah, so another morning where Caleb and I, so we've been using our rapid tests. We're going through them rapidly. We're very lucky though that we were able to get our hands on a bunch of them. But again, Caleb and I tested negative this morning. So we're just trying to play it safe. We're trying to just, be careful.
I do that.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
That's what I can do.
I'm watching. That's cool.
I want to I can toss it. Got it.
So I think I mentioned in a previous vlog, I was at Target a couple weeks ago, and they had this really cute end cap where they had these they were kind of like vintage style toys, but they were just little kind of trinkety kind of things. You okay?
Okay.
They were like little trinkety kind of things, and they were only like $3 a pop. And so I thought they would be really, really great to have on hand. For if we're ever having like a slow or a boring day, or I also want to use them a little bit as like kind of like a reward system. So if Caleb does a really good job cleaning up his room or what have you, I can surprise him with these little things. I am so glad I did that because they have come in so handy. So as you can see today, we've got up in the tree, it's this like bouncy ball thing. I'll show you in a second. But as you can see, it's a bouncy ball on this it's like tethered to this like bungee type string. And it's got like a little cuff, and I was able to put it on the limb of this tree, and he's just been having a blast. Is it awesome?
I got it. What's this?
I'm watching. What? Oh, don't let it hit you in the head. Are you okay? You okay, bud?
I really want to get cut.
Yeah.
That grass is so wet.
It's wet?
What's this?
It's a depressing situation, but thankfully, we have a good support system. Our family was constantly asking how things are going, our friends. So it felt like almost day one back when COVID first happened. We were all in lockdown, right? So
the next Wednesday night, Caleb woke up and he threw up all over his bedroom.
Yeah.
I did not know that with kids, if they're exposed to COVID, that can be one of the symptoms is throwing up and diarrhea. I thought it was all just a respiratory thing.
Right.
So I chalked that up as he had some kind of like stomach bug.
Well, it's kind of funny. So it's not funny, but it's funny. So we didn't know that was part of it, but Mike fed him macaroni and cheese. And anytime this kid eats macaroni and cheese that Mike makes, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So of course we continue the testing, and of course, my sister's a nurse. We asked her like, what do you do? Because we don't want to he's testing negative still. So
yeah. So real quick, just to hammer that point in, that was Wednesday night. Caleb threw up and had diarrhea. So the next day I tested him again. Still negative. So we just focus on hydration, all the things you would do for that kind of situation, fever, what have you, right? So, right.
But he seemed to rebound pretty quickly.
He did, and that's the other thing. So Caleb has a lot of energy. He was like bouncing off the walls. He was playing. Yeah. We were still going outside, and he never said that he
never demonstrated
didn't feel
any
good
kind of
or anything.
Or
so
like
again, I just chalked it up. I was like, oh, it must have been a little stomach bug he had, and now we've moved on.
Right.
But then it was Friday night, I started to feel a little funny, and again, I didn't think it was COVID symptoms. I was like, oh, my stomach kind of hurts. I'm so, sometimes it's so hard to go back and trace, but that day I had warmed up some leftover pizza, and so I just chalked it up to that. I was like, oh, this pizza's not sitting well with me. Woke up middle of the night, and I'm so sorry if you guys are eating right now.
Yeah, we should probably go to warn on that.
I basically had the same night that Caleb had on Wednesday.
And literally, as much as I would love to have helped Mike, I'm sleeping in my office, right? So I have no idea what's going on. Right. So I hear a lot of doors opening, a lot of walking back and forth. I just assumed that Caleb was having a restless night, but no, I asked Mike in the morning, how are things going? And this is the update I got. So.
Yeah. Yesterday I was really bad. I feel really good today. Definitely not 100%. Yesterday I was in bed almost all day long. And here's where it gets weird also. I went then tested that next day. So yesterday, it was still negative. I'm like, I feel awful. I'm throwing up.
Something's going on. Right? So fast forward to yesterday afternoon. Caleb comes up to you and says he's not feeling well, right?
Yeah. At that point, Caleb was like, I don't feel well. I take his temperature and it was high. I was like, oh my goodness. So I immediately, you start looking for urgent cares that were still open. I gave him a test. And he tested positive.
Almost immediately. You have to wait 10 to 15 minutes. This showed positive within the first 2 minutes. So, so panic, try to get appointments for urgent care.
Right.
Because, again, you want to try to make sure that you're trying to expedite everything. And I wanted them to give Mike, I don't want to say legitimate, but a PCR test because he's been testing negative with the home stuff, right? So I wanted it to medically be administered, right? But you show up and...
Yeah, she's basically, I show up and I say, I'd like to get a COVID test for me and my son. Yeah. And she's like, have you tested recently at home? And I said, he just tested about an hour ago and he came back positive. And she basically just kind of looked at me and said, well, there's really nothing we can do.
There's no medicine for COVID.
Yeah. And she was like, if he tested positive at home, he's going to test positive here. And our results take 48 hours. So it's best at this point if you just go home and begin your quarantine. So I was like, okay, well, bye.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, there's no medicine for COVID. So all you're doing is really treating the symptoms. So we've been, again, kind of focused on that. You feel better with what we've been doing.
I do feel a lot better, yes. Yeah. Definitely better than yesterday.
And Caleb's doing great.
Yeah, he's playing the Nintendo Switch right now.
Which is another coping thing during this situation because it's a little bit of a crutch, but hey, I'm surprised at how good he's doing at Mario Kart, let's be honest. So.
Look it's Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong? So what are you playing? Are you playing Mario Kart 8?
Yep.
And you're pretty good at it, huh? Yeah?
No.
Oh.
Look, I'm Sonic in this one.
Are you feeling a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I got my favorite character.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Favorite character?
But yeah, he's rebounded very quickly. We're still keeping an eye on the fever and making sure, again, we're focused on just pushing fluids on him and what have you. But yeah, that's where we are today. So that's the update today. It's kind of, again, you don't want to say, poor us, but today is Super Bowl Sunday. As we showed you guys last year, we typically put on a fun spread. It's usually a fun day. But I guess we're just gonna figure out DoorDash or something like that.
We'll figure it out.
So,
yeah.
But all things considered, again, I don't want to say we're lucky, but I would say that I was very lucky with my situation with COVID. I'm obviously very saddened that I exposed my family to it through what I thought was a safe work event. Just make sure you never let your guard down, right?
Right.
So even that event, that everybody was vaccinated, it was outdoors. There's always a possibility you could still get it. So, but I think with us being back together and being able to, take care of each other, I think that's a huge help, right?
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm not trying to make light of it, but we are feeling a little bit better. Yeah. This morning we were actually just outside playing with Caleb, who's playing with that little bouncy ball thing that I showed you earlier. And he's playing Nintendo now. So I think, we're just going to take it easy. And I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're all staying safe.
But yeah, I think, again, we're on the mend. Hopefully we're on the downside of this curve. But yeah, hopefully you're all feeling well. Share your experiences down below. We're obviously want to make sure, again, that we are looking for every single opportunity to get better. And we want to make sure we're not thinking of anything that might come that we are unexpected in like a couple days. So from us, we hope you're happy and healthy. And we'll be checking in on a regular basis. Thanks, everyone.